Well, Aaron, what were the biggest takeaways from the UTSA?
It was a great learning experience, man. Like, truthfully, as much as I don't want to say, I think we needed that. Like just to be completely honest with you, man. We live in a world now to where when people win at times, like it's more so a mentality thing. When people win, people can get complacent. People can feel like they're on top of the world. And the great thing about college football is like you got to prove that week in and week out. Like I said it last week. Like the test of a good team, the test of a really good secondary, is can you do it again? Like it's easy to do it one time, man. Like it's easy to have success one time, right? I was telling DBs, even a broke clock is right twice a day. Like it's easy to do that. Like can you do it again? Can you put it on tape consistently, right? And I think that was a tremendous. As much as we did not want it to happen, I'll be the first to admit that, right? Hated it to happen, right? But I think in order for us to grow, in order for us to be better, like I'm glad that was kind of exposed because guys can see what's going to truly happen and how are you going to respond. And so really looking forward to this game, man. Really looking forward to getting back onto the field. I think this Tuesday practice helped. I think us playing Virginia this coming week helps. You know, like I'm glad it wasn't the last game of the year and it happened, you know.
What bothered you the most, especially in the first half when Franklin got going?
What bothered me the most? It was a lot of things that bothered me, but just our attention to detail and just awareness on certain down and distances, you know, and that's something that I got to do better and coach better. You know, I think sometimes when teams go tempo, defenses, right, can lose sight of the down and distance, not understanding it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, you know, and trying to get guys to challenge routes when it is that down and distance. And so I think sometimes during tempo, players can just lose sight of, you know, they're going fast at times. Maybe it's 3rd down when you think it's 2nd, you know, and I got to do a better job as a position coach and just making sure those guys understand like it is 3rd down, dude. We got to challenge routes during that time period.
I mean, how do you feel about your guys' competitiveness, especially second half? I feel like Devin got after it a little bit and slowed him down a little.
Yeah. I feel like they responded. It was no quit in none of those guys, which was awesome to see. You know what I'm saying? I think anytime, and I've said it even coming into this year, like I told our guys, we're going to face adversity. I told them this before we played Nebraska. The adversity is going to hit sometime during the season. And it's not going to happen once, right? We got a long season. It's going to come up again. And how are we going to respond? And I challenged some guys personally. I felt like they did step up, you know, but a really good football team in UTSA, man, they were well prepared. They got some freaking really good players, dude. They got some good players, man. You know what I'm saying? Coach Trader's done a tremendous job there. And they're going to have a good team. They got a good team.
Tony put a lot on himself after the game. I'm sure you saw that. Like, what's the balance of a leader, you know, taking some blame but also not too much of the blame?
Yeah, I think that's just Tony's personality in general. Tony is the most critical person in terms of himself, in terms of his skill set, because he wants to be perfect, you know. But it ain't all on Tony. Like it's a team effort. Was there some things that Tony could have did better? Absolutely. Was there some things that I could have did better? 100% in preparing him. Absolutely. And so I just think collectively as a defense, you know, everybody gave up some plays, you know, but I think we just have to be a little more sound in terms of the down and distance, a little more sound in our communication across the board on the back end, and just understanding that anybody can be beat, dude. Like, you're not, because you're a bigger school, I mean, we saw Hispanic college football this past weekend, dude. It's a lot of teams that shouldn't have got beat on paper that got beat. And so I think Tony was just somewhat overcritical of himself. That's how he is. And it's my job as a coach just to rein him back in. Like, the greatest teaching lesson from this is to be able to show him, like on tape, okay, this is why we can't do that. This is why we got to have some awareness on 3rd down. This is why we got to know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't, they extend drives. Next thing you know, we're on the field for a 10, 12-play drive when we should have got off the field on the 6th or 7th play. You know what I'm saying? So that's just Tony being Tony. I appreciate how hard he is on stuff, but that goes without blame, man. It's not just him. It's a team effort.